Hello again, this is Willie and Ronna Grayson from the City to Country Living, inviting you on our next journey as we have our contractors out to prepare and excavate the trench to build our foundation for our concrete footers. In this process, you see we got a machine out there with a rock hammer. As we begin to excavate, we found out that we had a bunch of rock, and we actually sitting on a slab of rock. So we had to break out the trench and the rock using the rock hammer and the excavator. You see the tripod that we was checking the elevations and the grade, and the big pile of rock that came up from one side. We have a smaller portion of brick, and it's pretty large. They came out on the back end of the property, and we have some more brick as you see here as we begin to excavate for the removal of our trench to begin to pour our concrete footers. During this process, we needed a machine, as you can see upcoming now, the combination machine that was right next to the excavator breaking the rock out to dig the big portions of rock out. And doing this, we found out that being on this slab, that you might want to look into this to make sure when you choose your build site, you choose it correctly, because you may not have the finances. This normally would have took about 5 or 6 hours and then a few hours to pour, which turned into a couple of days because of the rock and the build site where we were at and what we wanted to do. As you move forward, we'll show you the final process and what we were doing and what we were trying to accomplish in building our trenches before we ran across the rock. Here you see the 2x4s that we use as string lines to make sure that everything stays straight. You saw the tripod and the retractor where we were shooting elevations and grades. There's 2x4s going across this trench that acts like backstops for the concrete so it's not running, so it'll stay at a certain place. We have the rebar folded in and all around the footers, and as for its per state code in Tennessee, you see this rebar sticking up. That is the ground rod. They said by state code now you must ground your house and your footers from the foundation of the home. So our contractor is keeping up with code and doing that. This process has already been inspected by the inspector, and he was impressed at what we have and what we accomplished with dealing with the brick, because he came out a day before when we was doing this process. But as you know, there's no forms. This is not city living. This is a rural area, so the dirt is not as soft as you need forms so they can hold the concrete. This concrete will go nowhere, as you'll see in the upcoming videos. And this little square out the triangle, you can see we have the area already prepped for where our fireplace is going to be, and that's going to be the stack for the fireplace. So it's very meticulous work, and the contractor did an excellent job based on the plans to set up this trench to pour the foundation for our concrete footers. So as we turn the corner going up, it's a nice little symmetrical square for the house and also for the garage. And you see there again another wood backstop for the concrete pour, and it'll make sense on the next video what I'm talking about when you see this. So I invite you to count the cost before you begin to build, and make sure you choose your build site wisely, and so that you won't have to run into what we have to run into here. So we invite you to stay tuned for the next video as we pour this concrete footer, and so you can see exactly the process in which we're taking. So I'm excited, and I know my wife is, and we invite you to the next one to come see us as we do our journey from the city to country living.
Remember, guys, to like, give this video a thumbs up, and please subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we can't wait to see you in the next video.